This is what one looked like in about circa 79. It had, this is the guide you put the saw through. This is your perpendicular device to hold the saw against on one side only, and this is the mechanism to clamp it into place, and the guides for height. The saw at that time still works, it's fine, and you push. The new model, which I'm just trying out tonight, is plastic of some sort. Has more of a bearing for either side of the saw, allowing the movement less guided by your hand at least. The depth is very nicely serviced by 4 Allen key screws, and the clamp is on both sides, which is terrific. Indexing pin, the template itself exactly the same, which is kind of interesting. I've been using a nail on that one. And the trick is really to realize that the saw and the guide are 3 1/4 plus or minus inches apart. So your first cut, you know, be careful. So you start at least with some nut left over, or indeed where you're cutting your nut. So I will go to town now here, and I've set the depth on a dummy piece of wood, and I'm happy with. I've got about 2 to 2 1/4 millimeters, somewhere in that neighborhood, I believe. If it's a little deeper later, meaning when I cut it after I radius the board, it's all good. So you've already two-sided taped this and given it some thought where you want to start and stop. So now you don't have to think. It's magic. Beats using a measurement for every fret. See the difference of the cut you can see in this location between the top of the back saw and then the top of the side of the bearing, and that's how deep my fret cut is, and you try and make sure you get it level and perpendicular. Actually, knowing where that pin would fall every time would be a good improvement if it's a way to do it. Perhaps on the jig. More than we need. And I'll just pull it off the template, which I got a bit of tape here, here, and here, and then surmise. I would carefully mark out where your nut falls on your fingerboard. In this case, I put my board not less than there because I wanted to cut the nut with the saw as opposed to having it perpendicular and beginning there. It takes out one less object of experimental error. 14th marker, of course. I thought it right to conclude with a decent view of the job and how nicely uniform the cutting by hand with that system works. There you go. So I certainly recommend it. Enjoy.